This is Dr. Vaishali, and today I am starting to read the book Structure, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran again, and it has a volume 1 and volume 2. Volume 1 consists of acknowledgement, list of contributions, forward. These are the chapters. Note to the readers, introduction, kingdom differentiation, the recognition of the mineral song, minerals, mineral source words, minerals overview of the rows, minerals overview of the column, column 17 the halogen, column 18 the noble and rare gases, row 1, row 2 and row 3. This included in the volume 1. I omit this acknowledgement, list of contributor and forward and introduction. There is no need to read this information. We are reading the crux of the book, and which start with the kingdom differentiation, right? So let's start to read book Structure, volume 1, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran. Chapter Kingdom Differentiation. Under label Looking Beyond the Delusion, the understanding of the plant family via sensation was like a huge breakthrough in my understanding of the disease. And as has already been explained, my earlier idea about the disease being a delusion and the subsequent emphasis on the mental state have since undergone a metamorphosis. Around 1990, a question occurred to me: is it possible that the person who need a plant remedy is somehow different from one needing an animal or the mineral remedy? The simple line of the inquiry was rather novel in homeopathy, and from something which seems too simple in the beginning came a radical shift in my practice. I soon realized it was like unearthing one of the most innate truth in the homeopathy, because it brought to light a completely new insight into the remedy. And for the first time in my understanding, homeopathy becomes system based instead of symptom based. Traditionally, we only selected the remedy according to the symptom, but then this would lead to several different remedies, often from different kingdoms. Let us take a simple hypothetical example with the following symptoms. Let us, yes, mind, grief, sorrow, aggravation. Mind, weeping, tearful mood, general alone being aggravated. Mind, consolation, aggravation. And we came to our well-known medicine, Ignatia and Natrum muriaticum. But now, what do we do? Which remedy to select? We often face similar puzzling situations. So, in the order to avoid this difficult and perplexing situation where we get so confused in our selection of the remedy, I realized that we need to categorize our remedies based on the fundamental principles, not on sheer suppositions and presumptions of our mind. That way, you do not just think of remedies matching symptom, but rather systematize the symptom you get. And for this, the foremost and the most important question that should strike your curious mind each time is it the plant, animal or mineral kingdom? And once these questions get answered, cases become very simple to understand and remedy become crystal clear. So, but this was not the end for me, as there was still more to this mysterious quest. As this kingdom classification unfolded to me an entire world outside the homeopathy, example, the source word of the remedy. This is an attempt to know the remedy not just as a mere collection of the randomly selected symptom, but to understand them beyond the physical local symptom or the mental emotional symptom or the dreams, fears, etc., delusion, etc. Like to know their vital sensation and understanding them as which kingdom they belongs to, which is the sub kingdom, and what is the source and the non-human language of that particular remedy. Like we know that the energy of each of these kingdom is different. Likewise, a human, we borrow similar energy pattern from one of these kingdom like animal, which correspond to the our inner way of perceiving and the reacting, and depending on which kingdom is the source of the other song, which is within us and within a given individual, human being can be mapped into the these three kingdoms. This is an innate difference in the basic problem issue of the person belonging to each of these three kingdoms. So, on one hand, each individual has his life as a human being, singing his own human song. On the other hand, upon looking deeply, we find that the simultaneously in each person there is also a whole different story from the completely other non-human world inside him that seems to sing another song altogether. A song with its own specific but very different melody. The second melody plays concurrently with our natural human song. It influences our life and interfere from time to time, coloring our external story. So it is as if there is another spirit residing within us. This other spirit inside us is the itself melodious and complete, yet is out of place simply because it is not the innate human but a reflection of the pattern that we have borrowed from the nature, from the plant, animal or mineral kingdom, which I would term the source. These different songs in a human being only create disharmony, a conflict, because there is another song that is already playing in us, which is our human song. This other song or our other world of the sensory experience is a stranger from another kingdom that lives within us. A stranger who has been with us for so long that we think he is a part of us, and like a guest who now talk like his own the place. Let us illustrate this concept with an example of young woman of 25 whose main complaint was irregular bowel movement. She suffered alternately from the constipation and the diarrhea. On being questioned how this affected her, she replied that the constipation made her look fat. For her, looking fat signified not wearing good clothes and feeling less attractive. I asked further about the less attractive feeling. She explained that it she stood next to the fat person. She would not like it because it reflected on her. People would say fat and fat. Similarly, in the office, she did not mix with the people she called side. Sides. For her, Sides was someone who was dull and unattractive, and being seen with them reflected on her. She experienced this on her. If she was spotted with them, it means that she was not like them. Since the world reflects on me came up very often, I tried to understand it for her perspective, and she said that reflect was a word commonly used to indicate anything that reflect back like a glass, since it reflects what is inside and outside of it. She further explained that in life she had a set picture of how her life should be and had a set image of the way she looked. Everything had to be in that set order. Only then could she stay focused. She was asked to describe the word focused, and she answered the focus is the opposite of the blur. She said she expanded on this. Blur is the time when you take off your glasses and you cannot see. Focus is when you put them back and everything seems to be very clear and in order again. When I asked about the stressful situation in her life, she narrated the story of the relationship that did not work out. It affected her profoundly because she was so involved that she had almost forgotten who she was. Everything came down to what he was, I was, and she had become a him. The situation in her day-to-day life that she found particular stressful were attending meeting and making presentations. She experienced severe anxiety as she was extremely conscious of her image and appearance. She felt people were looking at her and that reflected on her. The attitude of her is the typically glass-like behavior. With a glass, in general, one has to be careful both inside and outside. In her case, it is the presentation's anxiety, so that it does not break. Moreover, it reflects what is inside. Means what is her issue with her friends. So it really does not have anything of its own, but just reflect what is in front of it. And like as had happened in the relationship also, whatever he was, she had become she become like a him. When each peculiar individual aspect of the person is explored to the level of energy and sensation, we will find that they all speak the same language and sing the same song. When the main complaint is examined in the depth, when the person's dreams, hobbies, emotions, childhood fear, and ambitions, etc., are probed deeper, each of them will lead us amazingly to the same sensation, though superficially they seems to be so different. This that individualize them in the other song. To see and to confirm what is the other song is, one need to look at the totality of the person and go into each area of the person to see where he is different. And thus the basic problem in persons whose other song is from one, the plant kingdom is that of heightened sensitivity. And second, the animal kingdom is survival, competition, victim, aggressor issues. And in the mineral, the kingdom is feeling of deficiency or the lack of the fear of the losing or on the losing their structure. Now, under label plant kingdom, the main issue in the plant is the sensitivity and the reactivity. Plant memory have the general state which has one basic common sensation as well as the opposite one. For example, we see tight and loose. In the Euphorbiaceae family, pain and the numbness. In the Papaveraceae family, like for example, in Euphorbiaceae there is a tight and loose, and in the Papaveraceae there is a pain and numbness. In a plant, it is about what affect them, like circumstances, any circumstances affect them, what people say or do to them, temperature, weather, external external application or any stimulant. The issue revolves around the sensitivity, changeability, adaptability, reactivity, and the prominence of one sensation and with its other opposite sensation. For example, they would say it is not my husband that is the problem, but what he does to me. I cannot bear his screaming. It poke me and prick me. Whatever sensation they describe has to be the ruling sensation that runs throughout their life, entire life. And second is animal kingdom, in which the main issue in the animal is survival. It is about competition, me versus you, one versus the another. Some human expressions of the survival in animals are competition, high and the low, aggressor and the victim, predator and the prey, one versus the another, the dominating and the dominated, the persecutor and the persecuted. The split exists within the self also. I hate myself versus myself. I am disgusted with myself. Next is attraction and sexuality, which is very important for the propagation of the species. And then contradiction of the will, maliciousness, jealousy. The issue is not about what affect them, but who affect them. It is about the domination. He dominates me. He controls me, where the other person is the problem. In animal, there is an energy pattern and have a hand gestures always shows that one thing is doing something to the other. Here things happen in a pattern. It is a process, a struggle with self or the situation, but the central idea is of survival. And the next is mineral kingdom. The main issue in the minerals is about structure. So their main concern is about lack of forming, maintaining and losing structure. The structure is understood in terms of existence, identity, position, relationships, security, performance, and responsibility. Like so and so. The issue is about the completeness or incompleteness. Like something is missing in me or lacking in the self or the structure, or fear of losing that completeness. Am I stable or unstable? Do I need to join with something else is become stable or not? For mineral, the problem is not with the opposite person, but it is with himself. For example, they would say, I have to take what he does to me. If only I were independent, if only I were complete, then there would be no problem. It is my insecurity that leads to this problem. Mineral remedies are parallel to our understanding of this various stage of the human development. How relatively developed or undeveloped we are. This is understood by the correlating each row of the period table with a particular stage of human development. Starting from the row 1, which mirrors the stage of conception, to the row 7, which is about disintegrations. Each column 1 to 18 also correspond to the particular phase in the development of the row. In the subsequent chapter, I have attempted to explain this concept in further depth and with the help of the Materia Medica and Repertory and illustrative cases. And here is a summarized plant kingdom, animal kingdom and mineral kingdom column where they are explained, right?